It was 1:24 a.m. on April 26, 1986. A botched safety test at Chornobyl's reactor number 4 sent a series of blasts ripping through the plant, blowing off its heavy concrete lid. A radioactive cloud billowed across Europe, reaching as far as the eastern United States. 31 plant workers and firemen died in the immediate aftermath, mostly from acute radiation sickness. Thousands more would later succumb to related illnesses. The world watched as the true scale of the catastrophe unfolded. In the chaotic months that followed, hundreds of thousands of liquidators, ordinary men and women, were sent in to contain the invisible enemy. Petro Hurin was one of them. He worked 12-hour shifts, using an excavator to load radioactive debris, knowing the immense risks.
I realized that, however small my contribution might be, I was doing my bit to help tame this atomic beast and bring it under control. Radiation is, after all, an invisible enemy that strikes down all living things.
Hurin's health never recovered. After just 4 days, his blood tests showed a pale liquid. Not blood, a verdict that saw him immediately removed from the zone. Of the 40 people his company sent, only 5 are alive today. The exclusion zone around Chernobyl is a haunting wilderness of empty buildings, including Pripyat, a ghost town once home to 50,000.
I do not regard Chernobyl as history. It is a living responsibility. For the past 40 years, the IAEA has worked alongside Ukrainian partners to understand what happened, to communicate the truth, and to support the long journey of remediation and recovery.
That living responsibility has never been more directly challenged. Last year, on February 14, 2025, a Russian drone strike punched a large hole in the outer cover of the new safe confinement, the massive €2 billion steel arch designed to shield the world from the ruined reactor. Plant officials say it narrowly avoided another tragedy.
Today, the primary risks are military risks because drones and missiles regularly fly over the exclusion zone and the facilities of the Chornobyl nuclear power plant. What we saw after the strike on February 14, 2025 could happen again, with far more severe consequences.
While the drone-inflicted hole has been patched, the new safe confinement itself faces a ticking clock. High radiation levels mean skilled workers can only operate for minutes at a time inside the arch. The European Bank for Reconstruction and Development warns that unless extensive repairs begin by 2028, corrosion could undermine the entire structure by 2030, risking a catastrophic failure.
There is a huge amount of radioactive material, fuel, which are underneath this new safe containment. So that's why it's so important to carry on the work before this risk of corrosion, and then we would need to start, if this happens, if corrosion happens and the containment is not effective anymore, we would need to start from scratch in a way, so in a much more expensive response.
4 decades on, Chernobyl's aging containment faces escalating threats from war and decay, posing an ongoing nuclear danger.